Welcome Capricorn to your high voltage Mars square Pluto deep dive video for the ascendant, the sun or the moon. From May the 22nd through to the 30th, one of astrology's most turbulent, highly charged and powerful planetary influences occurs for the first time in 2 years. It peaks on the 26th of May. On the screen is that exact moment, but from a Capricornian viewpoint. I'm going to unpack this for you. By the end of the video, you'll have a clearer understanding of how to navigate this in terms of your energy, work, relationships, or finances. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundel. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so now to help it to continue to thrive. But please also click or tap the bell notification symbol. One of the intriguing things about this aspect is the two players are the co-rulers or regents of the intense and deep sign of Scorpio. Mars also rules the sign of Aries. Here it's very much about initiation, action, desire, willpower, assertion. It can be about our identity, our ego, and it can be impatient. It can be quick to get roused, but it can also be very protective. And that's where its more warrior instincts come in, where it does need to do battle to do that. However, it currently is in the earth sign of Taurus, which is very much to do with life's foundations, our values, our self-worth. Mars here is not ponderous, it's more cautious, but it is a fixed sign, so it doesn't really like to yield, so therefore very stubborn. But Mars also gives us an appreciation of our value, our self-worth, and particularly as far as finances and possessions are concerned. Pluto is the planet which is very much to do with us as collectively, but in the sign of Aquarius community, how we all connect. It is an air sign, but like Taurus, it's a fixed sign. Pluto likes change and transformation, but it can also show up areas when we can get obsessed with things. And sometimes it's about those deep changes, sometimes hugely powerful and painful ones, where something comes to an end, but is rebirthed in something new and fresh and potentially better. So how are they shaping up in terms of the square for you personally? Well, 4 times since November 2024, Pluto has been asking you, Capricorn, to perhaps rethink some of your approach to your values. A kind of Taurus vibe. Pluto may be asking you to release some old ways of thinking, perhaps old approaches, but be very open to new ones. You may be going through some kind of transformation around how you earn money, and also how you view your resources could be altering as well. Mars in the fifth house for you, however, recently moved into Taurus. It's a brilliant location for Mars because it has an echo, the fifth house, of Leo energy. Here, Mars wants to be much more demonstrative. It can be very much aware of its self worth as far as attraction. So if you are wanting to be more interactive around your social or romantic situation, Mars's appreciation of the thrill of the chase, but also sensuality, because the ruler of the sign of Taurus is Venus, can also be amped up by Mars' raw desire. So it's an intriguing combination. So fifth v second. The fifth house can also be about speculation and how we use our resources through our belief that if we do something daring, we can improve things. So with Pluto in that second house, you may have a conflict at the moment. You could be attracted to someone you really like and their values are completely different to yours, but you may be finding them irresistible because Mars and Pluto in a square can really make us much more conscious of that need for intimacy. However, it could be that there's something you're attracted to do that's much more creative that doesn't quite work for you financially, and that can see you conflicted. It may be that in an existing relationship, you're in a current partner having a different approach to your social situation or even how you spend your money. but all of it can create a power battle bar none. So things can get very tense over the next 10 days. So how do we deal with it? Well, I think it's by widening the lens, seeing the overall picture of the chart. The first thing to notice is that one of the two luminaries, the moon, is right at the top of your chart. So how you feel is really important. And being an earth sign, sometimes your focus is much more on practicalities. So stay in touch with how you feel. The intriguing thing is that your ruler, Saturn, which is urging you to work on your inner world over the next 2 years, in that fourth house, is actually in an opposition with the moon. So maybe the tension that's going to occur is trying to balance your work-life situation. If you've got a lot of different demands and you don't feel that you get much time out to enjoy yourself and have pleasure, that could create a sense of of resentment. But also we have the Sun in the very practical sixth house, but in the airy Gemini. So it's very much about your work situation can be quite fluid, important to be flexible. And maybe that need to do something that's more engaging and interesting could mean the need to learn new skills, move to a different organization, even consider working for yourself. But the Sun forges an amazing link to Pluto and an amazing link to the Moon. We have a grand air trine. So talking things through and thinking them through, very important. You can still be completely grounded in your approach because they're all in earth houses. The moon in the 10th house, responsibility. The second house, everyday money. The sun in the sixth house, the details, how it will be structured. All of those things very much innately part of your nature. But what you do have is Mars in a terrific angle to Venus. And both of them are linking back beautifully to the North Node here. So if there is someone or something you're really passionate about at the moment, and you feel that you need to overcome your own inner resistance in order to go for it, that could be what you need to do, because Mars square Pluto can give us a fantastic willpower, but it does take a degree of courage because it means we're confronting potentially our fear. In the case of Pluto, fear of financial failure, or in the case of Mars, doing something much more demonstrative, and then we feel exposed because being a Capricorn, maybe when you were younger, you tended to be much more safety first. So there's lots of different things to weigh up. But what I would say is that Venus and Jupiter are in your sector of relating, and they're going to come together in the most magical of ways in the first 10 days of June. So your relationship sector is looking pretty good. So if there is somebody on your celestial radar that you're being drawn to and just can't get off your mind, the obsession and desire of the combination of Mars and Pluto, there's a lot to suggest that as long as you can keep the dialogue flowing nicely, that could build up. Around your work situation, for all of us, technology is having a huge impact. It is a bit scary. There's no point in denying the fact. But being adaptable is really important. But also you have that great gift of just really getting to the nub of what everything is about, and also understanding what the first thing is that you can do that would make a practical difference. That's phenomenal with Capricorns. And you can do that because of all the energy in the sixth house is about using your mind in communication to shift something that does need updating around that practical function. I would just say, however, if there is a current relationship you're in that you're really not enjoying, and it goes more than a bit of a battle of wills because one of you wants a new sofa and the other one doesn't, Saturn, your ruler, is squaring Venus. So if it really is bumping along the bottom, this could be a big moment to decide whether your heart is really in it or not. I'm going to summarize those 4 areas of energy: work, relationships, and finances next. Just to say, I've cut the price of my personal horoscope reports. It used to be buy 2 and get 30% off. It's now buy 3 and pay for 1. The one you pay for is your life roadmap report, which helps us to understand the patterns that play out in our lives and get a more intimate understanding of how we can work with those energies more effectively future forwards. And three, your 12 months transit forecast and your draconic soul karmic analysis. If in your natal chart your north node is not late in Pisces or early in Aries, your draconic chart can look hugely different. Please see below. Draconic is particularly fascinating. If you've yet to watch your Mars in Taurus 6-week forecast, that's on the screen. Your Gemini season 1-month forecast on the screen. If you'd like to work with me one-to-one, be an absolute pleasure. Please check out my testimonials below. I work the world over. And if you've yet to take advantage of my free daily written horoscope via to your device each morning, please do so now to get your early day celestial pit stop. And you can read for your ascendant, sun, moon, your partner, ex, whoever. So let's just summarize things. In terms of energy, if you're in a situation at the moment where there's lots of demands and you feel a bit fragmented, your nervous system could be feeling a bit over aroused. So if you can do some gentle exercise, that would really be a good thing. Your emotional energy could also be affected by this next 10 days if there's a power battle going on between you and someone you're close to. That is undoubted. As far as your professional situation is concerned, if you are open to flexing and perhaps looking at different ways of how you can earn a living, maybe a different role, retraining, using old skills in a new and fresh way, I think you can flow with this event. If you're wanting to do something much more entrepreneurial with your resources, you can do that, but that could be a big difference of opinion if a partner wants to be more conservative. You're usually much cannier than wanting to go flat out, but Mars, even though it is cautious in Taurus, could tempt you because of that fifth house energy. And maybe you've heard some information from someone you're impressed by, the collective in Cancer, that's spurring you on. If you're new to relating, you're wanting to meet someone new, I think some good news can develop by the 10th of June, or at least an improvement in certain relationships. Thank you so much for joining me, Capricorn. It's been a real pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.